Welcome Chance Patrick here to the station and here to the desk to show off some things we can do outside. And this is the most interesting contraption you have brought along here today.
Thing?
This is a bow fishing setup.
Looks like you just put that together in your garage.
Well, we did put it together in the garage.
MacGyver did it, yeah.
Yeah, it's an upcoming sport that's getting huge. Everybody's starting to bow fish these days.
Bow fish for what beside carp?
Carp and gar. You want to stay with the rough fish.
What's
no
gar?
game fish. Looks like a long snake, big old nose on him.
Ooh.
Ugly old fish.
Okay.
But you know, there's only certain fish you can bow fish.
Why?
Because they're rough fish. Game fish.
What does rough fish mean?
Rough fish means they're kind of an invasive.
Okay.
They need to be taken out of lakes, ponds.
Okay.
They grow really fast. They reproduce really fast. So they're not good. They dirty the water up.
Why couldn't you use a bowfish for a regular, like a catfish or a bullhead?
Well, that's a
or something
game
like
fish.
that?
That's what you have to go out with your pole for, you know.
So it's against
Is
the
it-
rules.
is it
It's
illegal?
it's illegal.
It is.
Okay.
Yep,
Oh.
there's a lot of rules of bow fishing people don't understand. You know, you got to make sure, because this is a weapon.
Right.
Sure.
I mean, we need to make sure it's safe where we're shooting, make sure our backdrops are clear. You know, there's only certain spots you can bow fish. You need to ask permission most of the time.
Now, where can you bow fish around here? So if somebody wants to go bow fishing in, say you live in Des Moines, where can you go bow fishing?
Well, down at the river, make sure you're in a safe spot.
Right here on the bridge over on Court
Oh.
Avenue, you can take it and go bow fishing up there?
They were not Court Avenue. You know, it's because you're in downtown. There's a lot of people. You gotta think ahead. Where's the people going to be? What's behind me? What if my arrow breaks loose? Where's it going to go?
Okay.
So you can
So-
bowfish in the river, just not in the downtown area where
No,
there's a lot of
I wouldn't
people and
recommend
things
it.
like
You know,
that.
I wouldn't know. And a lot
Okay.
of spots are, you know, you have to make sure you're in a right spot. Flooded water's good because them carp and gar like to get up in that flooded land, and you can walk
Do
through.
we have a lot of gar around here?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't know
So
that.
just make sure you get permission and you're very safe and aware. This looks like you took a reel and screwed it into a bow. Is that
Yep.
is that how that works?
Yep. This bow here, this is where your stabilizer would go for hunting.
So that thing that sticks out.
Yeah.
Oh,
So then
okay.
you buy the reel attachment, and this is 200-pound line coming out of here.
200?
200-pound line with
How
30
big are these
pound.
gar?
Well, it's not about how big the fish is. You're shooting an arrow at 200 and some feet per second.
Right.
It's going to eventually come to an end. You don't want that arrow, pink, you're gone. You're out a lot of money. Now you have an arrow sailing through the air. So the main thing is get your good line. Always inspect it. Pull it out and inspect it. Make sure it's good. That way you're not having to worry about that. You know, it's just one thing.
How far can you shoot these if you're
Like,
drawn
what's a
down?
realistic
Depends on-
range? You know?
Oh, 25 yards.
Okay.
20. I wouldn't shoot over that. You're going to miss anyways at that, you know, that distance. So
Where do you tie the string? Is just
you tie it
anywhere?
onto what they call the slide. I don't have it hooked up right now. You hook this up like that. So I like
Okay.
a slide setup because this goes clear down here.
Okay.
We hit the button. It's tied out here.
All right.
So when the arrow comes out, there's nothing.
Nothing holding it back.
No, you don't want nothing holding it back. So
Okay, so bow fishing, not your typical fishing style. So things that are a little bit different. Explain what the process is if you're planning on trying this out.
you need to be quiet because they're up in the shallows and they're very skittish. A carp will come up, start swimming, and that's when you get on him, let him have the arrow, reel him in. And it's a challenge. A lot of people do it at night.
Now, do you need gloves when you're bow fishing like this?
You know, I don't like gloves because they get wet, they get mossy, they get, you know, I like to fill my equipment, make
Whoa.
sure
Yeah, this is
everything
some big
feels right.
So
fish.
you just reel them in with the regular reel, just like a
Yeah,
regular.
you just kick the bow back and start reeling. Like you're fishing.
Just like,
Like
your
you're
fish.
Just like you're
That
fishing.
is
And
so
Just a
bizarre.
different way.
It's a challenge. I'll tell you, it's not like going out. Us archers, it ruins us all summer.
Because you're aiming somewhere different.
Yeah,
correct?
you know, when we're shooting our regular bows, it's pinpoint accuracy. So now you get out there and you see this fish swimming, you're right on him. And then you shoot and miss, and you're like, how did I do that? I know what I'm doing. Well, the fish are in the water. It gives you a different range. You need to shoot about a foot back from the fish because of the water angle.
The refraction.
Refraction. of the water.
Yeah. So that's the big thing is it'll make you feel like an amateur again. But it's such a challenge. Once you do it once, you're hooked. You'll be everywhere chasing them carp around.
No, you're not hooked. You're bow.
Your bow.
Yeah, you're bow
You're
fishing.
bow fishing.
Yeah,
Okay,
and there's
okay.
so many different pieces of equipment for it. You can go as fancy, just like everything. You know, keep it simple. You don't need all that fancy stuff.
Now that bow wasn't specifically made for this, was it?
Yes, it
just-
was. This
it?
one was.
Okay.
But you know, this bow here, this can be adjusted for a little kid, clear up to us. You know, that's the thing. That's what I like about it. I mean, you could take this hunting. It's blue. It's got fish all over it. But you can use it for everything. I mean, don't worry about the bow. what
No,
it looks
Jason
like.
had a very valid question. Say you do have a bow. You do like shooting. Can you adapt what you have
Yeah.
to turn it into a bow fishing rod?
Yep, you just use the same rest that you got. Take off your stabilizer, put the reel mount on, get a different arrow. You're good to go.
You're good to go.
You're good to go.
Now, when you're fishing for these rough fish, obviously, some people maybe eat them. They smoke them and eat them with the carp. But is it a deal where you can just pull them out and you're kind of doing a public service, aren't you, by getting these fish out of the water?
You are. The main thing is when you're pulling these rough fish out, they are big.
Yeah.
You know, and if you don't plan on keeping them, dispose of them the right way. Don't leave them on the banks.
Right, that's the
Yeah.
worst when you get that
that
Smell.
that
smell out of
And
nowhere.
the
It's like,
flies
what is it?
burst
Yeah.
out.
What should you do with them? You say dispose.
There's a
of them
lot of
properly.
things. Put them in your garden. Till them in. You know,
That's like the old Thanksgiving story with
Yeah.
the Native Americans and the Pilgrims, you know, throwing the fish in the.
Well, they're good, and a lot of people don't realize that. It's all on how you cook them.
Yeah.
Look up some recipes. You know, don't waste a good fish. Try it.
Darn
Gar, too?
scales.
The gar are bony. There's just very limited meat on them. You have to shoot a huge one
Can
to
we
get
drop
a lot
them
of
off at your house? And
No.
you just,
No, I get plenty.
I'm intrigued by the gar thing for some reason, but I've seen carp all over the place. Didn't know we had gar.
Now,
already.
Yeah.
it seems to me that people used to do this for paddlefish when I was a kid.
Paddlefish, yeah. You don't see too many of that around anymore. You get
Okay.
out farther south, you do.
Okay.
But around Iowa, you're going to shoot gar and carp.
Okay.
All right, so
but the important things to remember: be safe. Make sure you ask for permission, and,
Yeah, and
and
make
have
sure
an idea
you're
of what you're
fine.
doing. Like we want everyone to go out and try it and enjoy the great outdoors, but you need to know a couple things before you head out.
Well, next weekend is going to be a good weekend to try it. It's free fishing weekend.
Oh, that's
Friday,
right.
Saturday, Sunday.
Which
So,
means you don't need a license.
you don't need a license. Iowa residents only. Get out and try fishing. If you haven't been out, get out and try it again. You'll be hooked.
There you go.
right.
But
So-
he'll be here all week. Well, wonderful. The really interesting thing where you can spend more time in Iowa's great outdoors. Check out more information here. Check out Chance's Facebook page, chance.patrick.7, and he'll keep you up to speed as to what's going on.
And if
Thank
people
you,
have
sir.
questions, they can
Really
reach out to you
interesting.
as well. There you go.
Good job, man. That was awesome.